Her mother traded her to humans. But the alien princess volunteered instead. In the heart of the Zorathian galaxy, on a planet covered with glowing blue forests and floating crystal mountains, Princess Liara was born. Her people, the Zoratii, were known across galaxies for their wisdom and power. Liara's mother, Queen Vereen, ruled with a cold mind and an even colder heart. To the Zoratii, alliances were more important than feelings. One day, the Zoratii received a shocking demand from the humans, a distant species that had recently discovered interstellar travel. They wanted a Zorathian princess. Queen Vereen's eyes narrowed. A royal marriage could secure her people's survival, but it came at a cost. Without hesitation, she decided to trade her daughter to the humans. When Liara overheard her mother's decision, her heart froze. She had grown up knowing duty, but never had she imagined being a bargaining chip. The humans, she knew, were unpredictable and dangerous, and the thought of leaving her planet forever terrified her. The night before the handover, Liara stood in her private chamber, staring at the twin moons of Zorath. She clenched her fists. "I won't be taken like an object," she whispered to herself. Then, an idea struck her, one that would shock her mother and change her destiny forever. The next morning, as the human delegation arrived in their silver spacecraft, Liara approached her mother with calm determination. "Mother," she said, her voice steady, "I volunteer instead." Queen Vereen blinked. "You volunteer?" she asked, disbelief coloring her words. Liara nodded. "If someone must go, I will go. I choose my own fate." The humans were astonished by the sudden change, and even the Zorathian council was speechless. But in the end, her courage was undeniable. Liara boarded the spaceship, leaving her home behind. As the spacecraft soared into the void, Liara's mind raced. The human planet, Tyrannes, was unlike anything she had ever imagined. It was small and green, with endless oceans and bustling cities. But the humans were primitive compared to the Zoratii, and Liara had to hide her full abilities to survive. She was placed under the care of a human scientist, Dr. Marcus Hale, a man fascinated by alien life. He was kind, but Liara sensed his curiosity bordered on obsession. Every day, he asked questions, poked at her technology, and tested her limits. Liara tolerated it with patience, but secretly, she studied him too. Humans were fragile, emotional, and yet strangely clever. She realized that survival on this planet would require more than strength, it would require understanding. Days turned into weeks, and Liara began to notice strange things. There were whispers of a rebellion, humans who opposed the government's interest in alien technology. One night, she overheard two scientists plotting to weaponize her Zorathian knowledge. Her heart raced. If they succeeded, it would lead to wars across the stars. Liara realized she had to act. Using the skills she had learned on Zorath, she quietly escaped the research facility. In the human city, she was a stranger among strangers, but her determination was fierce. Every shadow held danger, every passerby could betray her. Yet, the more she moved, the more she understood humanity's complexity, their bravery, their flaws, their capacity for change. Meanwhile, back on Zorath, Queen Vereen was furious. Her carefully planned alliance was unraveling because of Liara's audacity. She dispatched a fleet to bring her daughter back, unwilling to accept Liara's defiance. On Tyrannes, Liara encountered a group of humans who were part of the rebellion. At first, they were suspicious of her, but her knowledge of advanced technology impressed them. Slowly, they began to trust her. She shared only enough to help them understand how to protect themselves, never revealing the full extent of Zorathian power. Liara became the unexpected leader of the resistance. She trained them in strategy, showing them how to defend their planet without resorting to complete destruction. Together, they planned a daring strike against the faction of humans who sought to exploit her abilities. One night, during a secret mission to sabotage a weapons facility, Liara came face to face with the humans who had first taken her. The fear she had felt weeks ago surged back. But this time, she was ready. Using a combination of cunning and her hidden abilities, she outwitted them. The facility was destroyed, and the humans realized that the princess they had underestimated was far more powerful and intelligent than they had imagined. Word of her bravery spread across Tyrannis. The humans began to see her not as a tool or a prize, but as a protector. And Liara, in turn, saw something she hadn't expected: hope. For the first time since leaving Zorith, she felt like she had a choice in her destiny. Queen Varine's fleet finally arrived, cutting through Tyrannis' atmosphere like silver knives. Liara watched from the highest rooftop as the mother she had defied stepped out, her eyes filled with anger. "Return to me," Varine demanded, her voice echoing across the city. Liara stepped forward, standing tall and unafraid. "I belong here, with those I have chosen to protect," she said. The humans around her, once wary, now stood with her, forming a united front. The queen's face darkened. "You are my daughter. You will obey me." Liara shook her head. "I obey no one blindly. I choose my own path." For a moment, the silence was deafening. Then, something remarkable happened. The rebellion in the humans she had trained formed a symbolic line, refusing to let the Zorathian fleet interfere. They weren't strong enough to fight directly, but their courage and unity made a statement that Liara's mother could not ignore. In that moment, Liara understood something crucial: true power was not about fear or control, but about respect, trust, and the courage to make one's own choices. The queen, seeing that her plans had failed, retreated with her fleet, leaving Liara and her new allies in peace. As dawn broke over Tyrannis, Liara stood at the edge of the city, watching the sun rise over the horizon. She had left her home, defied her mother, and faced the unknown. And yet, for the first time, she felt free. The human planet was messy, unpredictable, and full of danger, but it was hers to explore, to protect, and to call home. From that day on, Princess Liara was no longer just a royal of Zorith, she was a symbol of courage and hope across galaxies, a bridge between worlds, and a reminder that even in the darkest moments, one could choose their own destiny. And somewhere far away, in the cold halls of her mother's palace, Queen Varine realized that trading her daughter had been a mistake, but it was one she could not undo. The princess had chosen her own path.